Hello, I'm Bob Lovell, the host of Network Indiana's Indiana Sports Talk, and I'm on location at the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in Newcastle, Indiana. The month of March is well underway, and Hoosier hysteria has reached its pinnacle with championship weekend at the IHSA Boys Basketball State Finals at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. This time of year, conversations of the best games and the best teams ever are debated throughout the state of Indiana. One of those teams in the conversation is the 1971 East Chicago Washington Senators. In 1971, the Senators went 29-0, defeating the Elkhart Blue Blazers 70-60 at the last IHSAA state finals ever played at Hinkle Fieldhouse. This East Chicago Washington team scored 90-plus points per game in 18 of their 29 games and scored 100 or more points 8 times, all without the three-point shot. The 1971 East Chicago Washington Senators, state champs, and a team worthy to be in the conversation of the greatest teams in Indiana high school basketball history.
Let's take a look at the ball club of the highly touted East Chicago Washington Senators, coached by John Mullen. At the guards, Reuben Bailey, a 5'11 senior, and Darnell Adele, a 6-foot senior. The center is Tim Stoddard, he's 6'7 and a senior, and the two forwards, Pete Turgovich, 6'6 and a senior. He got 40 points this afternoon. And Ulysses Bridgman, 6'5 and a senior. Other
Well, my thoughts when people ask me, are we the greatest team of all time, I think it's just a tremendous compliment that 42 years later they're still talking about us. And whether we were or not, we'll never know. Nobody will ever know because of the different matchups, the different eras.
Wow. I mean, that is quite a statement. Obviously, you're honored to even be mentioned in that frame, talking about, our team way back when. But it's so difficult to compare. I think back to the Crispus Attucks team with Oscar Robertson, and then, the George McGinnis team in Indianapolis, Washington. And I don't know how you can really say that one team is better than another, but it really is an honor to be even mentioned in that frame.
We had 7 seniors on that team that could go out there and play anywhere. We heard all of that after the fact. After we graduated from high school, we heard how good we were. Sometimes you have to be aware of what's going on around you. And the thing that we were hearing, we didn't let that distract us. We knew we were a good team. We said our senior year we were going to do one of the unthinkable things, and that would be 29-0.
We scored a ton of points. We ran. We played great defense. To even be considered or thought of at any point of, being considered, say, one of the greatest, makes you feel good, makes you feel like you've had some great accomplishments.
We were such a high-scoring team because you didn't know who to guard on our team. You couldn't focus on one guy because somebody else would have been the scorer at that time. In fact, our first 5 games, we had 5 different leading scorers, and I think that's what set the tone for the whole season.
I mean, we were so high-scoring because we had 2 guards that ran 100 under 10 seconds. Our whole team was basically, if you were standing still, you were in the wrong place. And I think the other big thing is we played such solid pressure defense. You can get a rebound and throw it backwards over your head, and either Adele or Bailey were down there catching the ball, so made for nice, easy assists sometimes.
Junior Bridgman could have been a guard. Turkovich could have been a guard. Timmy was a guard when he was in 7th and 8th grade. Bailey and myself, we were just tremendously fast, and we were athletes.
And we just scored points in bunches, and it really kind of became commonplace to score 90 points, and we never thought about it being that unusual back when we were doing it.
Coach Mullen was a great guy. He nurtured us. Whatever you needed, he made sure you had it. But he was also a strict disciplinarian also, and a great teacher. His family, whatever he had, he gave to us.
John Mullen really kept us in line. We're all it was kind of a tough area and a lot of things that we could always get in trouble doing, but he kept us motivated and driven in the right place, and kept our goal in front of us all the time of what we wanted to do and what we needed to accomplish.
The things that you have to mention when you talk about Coach Mullen is his ability to let us play, and also in a controlled manner. We didn't score 95 points a game just because 5 guys went on the basketball court. We scored 95 points a game because of the system that Coach Mullen ran, and he recognized the ability that we had to play this style.
John Mullen, coach of that great 71 team, just turned 86, and he always felt that that was one of the best, if not the best team in the history of Indiana. And I agree, you know, in those days they didn't have the three-point shot, and he averaged 94 points a game, the 71 team.
The real, I think, tribute to Coach Mullen is the fact that my senior year, with all the great players that we had on our team, no one was ever concerned about who was the leading scorer, the leading rebounder. It was always the whole year about what the team could accomplish. And for a coach to be able to take 17 and 16-year-olds and to get that done at a time when egos and everything are in formation, I think is a true testament to how great a coach Coach John Mullen was.
Seven, 6, 5. Long pass, Turgovich. Knocked away. 1 second. Puts it up. It is good. The basket counts, and the ball game is over. The final score, 70 for East Chicago, Washington, 60 for Elkhart.
You know, being there, especially the way it turned out for us in 1971, we were the last team to win the state championship in Hinkle Fieldhouse, and that was very important to me. And also, you know, I just have to add this, I took the last shot and made it. So I'm the last one that made a field goal, a basket of any kind in the last state championship that was played at Hinkle. So it was very memorable for me.
Yeah, I remember laying on the floor listening to the radio of the state tournament games when I was a little kid, and when East Chicago, Washington got beat, thinking that if I ever got a chance to play, you know, we're not going to lose to anybody. And then to finally, your senior year, go undefeated. I mean, all those thoughts came through your mind. You know, it was almost a little bit surreal to kind of sum it all up.
In life, you try to set goals, and at that point in your life, the greatest goal you can have is to win the high school state championship. And to be able to do that and get that done, and then finally it's there, was just an awesome feeling.
Okay, just the feeling that we had after the clock ran out in the state finals, it was like jubilance. You know, I mean, wow, you could not believe all the fans running out there. We're hugging each other saying, we did it, thank you, we stuck together. We could not have ever done anything without each other. It was a wonderful feeling.
I love March. It's simple. I love March because it kind of helps you relive all this stuff. You get to do interviews like this. You get brought back up. Being with a great group of guys, kind of recall.
Our team, and I hear this from everyone, they still talk about it now. I went into a shop the other day off Klein Avenue, Darnell Adele. I was like, wow, almost 40 years ago. I remember that team. I was in 9th grade, you guys were seniors, and we get those accolades all the time.
The thing that will never ever change is that there's that bond and that tie from Indiana high school basketball. And that time in life when everyone made something special happen. And no matter what happens or to whomever in life or how life treats everybody, that one thing there can never be taken away. And that's special and something that every basketball, every high school season, every tournament time, you think about and you get a little smile on your face.
Pete Turgovich, one of the starting 5 on the 1971 East Chicago Washington championship team, went on to UCLA to play for the legendary coach, John Wooden. Turgovich was one of only 2 men in Indiana to have won a state championship as a player, won national championships at the collegiate level, and then a state high school championship as a coach.
You only saw a few games on TV, and UCLA was the ultimate. getting there, you got to meet, the great coach John Wooden that, you talked about, and, you sit down with him in a team meeting for the first time, and you're wondering, okay, coach is going to tell us what basketball is all about, and what he does is he sits down and he teaches you how to put your socks on. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I just won the state championship in Indiana. I was runner-up to Mr. Basketball. You're going to tell me how to put my socks on? But that was Coach Wooden's way of telling you it's the little things that matter. You have to take care of the little things to make big things a reality. I'll mention you some. When I played in the Procus School at Holy Trinity, we had a tournament at the end of my 8th grade year, and we won that tournament. So I took that uniform off as a winner. I never felt sad. When I played at East Chicago, Washington, we won the state championship. Last time I took that uniform off, we won. When I played at UCLA, last time I took that uniform off, we won. And I never went into the locker room after my last game playing at any one of those 3 places feeling bad. And I'm just a fortunate person. And then when I got involved in coaching, the only reason I really got involved in coaching is because I had a son, and I wanted to see if he would have the same passion that I had. And it turned out like his passion equaled mine, if not greater. And it was almost like I was able to watch myself growing up again. And he turned into a very good basketball player on some really good high school teams. Went to college, played on the NAIA level, and led the nation in scoring in any level his last year at 28 points a game. And, who could ask for more?
This month, Indiana natives David Anspall and Angelo Pizzo, who captured the state's passion for high school basketball with the 1986 film Hoosiers, were inducted into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Angelo Pizzo, writer-producer of Hoosiers, and Rudy, reflects on the impact Hoosiers has made since it hit movie screens in 1986, and the passion the state of Indiana has for its high school basketball that helped inspire the film.
Our goal when we were making the film was to just get it into the theaters. We didn't have any idea, any vision whatsoever that even if the film had gotten into the theaters, that it would have sustained the way it has. It's been amazing, and it continues to amaze me. I just read a piece where the SEAL team to go in to get bin Laden was given a pep talk by Admiral McRaven, and he referenced the movie Hoosiers, and he actually used it as a motivation. So this goes on and on and on, and I'm continued to be baffled by it, but certainly pleased. But I can't really be objective about any of the stuff I do. I just try to tell good stories and about subjects that matter to me, and certainly high school basketball matters a lot. I think that there is a sense of tradition, there's a sense of ritual, and a sense of tribalism when it comes to Indiana high school basketball. We identify with our town, with our high school, and those kind of community and connective tissues are important to our lives. And especially as our lives become more fragmented by Twitter and the internet and the globalization of communication. To go back to something that we're familiar with, that we grew up with, that we feel connected to others with, is very powerful in our lives. And I still think that's why Indiana high school basketball sustains today the deep and rich tradition. Well, it's kind of surreal. I mean, if you would have told me when I was a kid, just getting cut from my high school basketball team, that I would ever be in a Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, I would have said, you're crazy. It's a great, great honor to be inducted with the other great basketball players.
Thank you for watching this feature presentation of the IHSA Champions Network. Be sure to visit the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in New Castle, Indiana. Keep up to date with high school athletics across the state of Indiana at ihsaa.org. For the IHSA Champions Network, I'm Bob Lovell.